Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, where today guys, I'm gonna do part 19 to my Let's Play, or no, to my Redemption Attempt series of the Google Gemini Chatbots. Now guys, before I begin this video, I didn't really make an announcement about this when it happened, but I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now, since I need to also go ahead and tell you guys something else real quickly. First off, I want to say Happy New Year to everyone. I am recording this video on January 1st, 2026. So, yes. On top of that, guys, I never really got to say this that much whenever it happened, but for y'all that celebrate it, late Merry Christmas to everyone as well. Again, yes, I know I didn't say this at the time that it happened, but I still wanted to say it at least at some point in time. So, yeah, I hope you got what you want for Christmas or whatever you celebrate, and I hope you had a good New Year as well. Hope you got to spend time with people you care about. So, yeah, I needed to go ahead and say that right now at the very beginning, just because I didn't really say anything about it whenever it happened, especially the Christmas one. I never said anything about Christmas when it happened. I should have said something, but I was trying to get videos done at the time, and a lot of people try to focus on them. So, yeah. In today's video, guys, I am going to get a good run with this flipping Toadal. It worked out so well that one time, and I've not gotten another good run like that since then, and it drives me insane. So, I'm trying something a little bit different. This one does have sections on it, like where it breaks the parts up into sections, but it's supposed to give me a lot more detail and even let me hear some of the stuff. I even did add a little bit of something different to this one as well. So, yeah, here's what it says. 5 years ago, in a secluded, shimmering pond only a half-mile from your house, a remarkable event occurred. Within a large, highly intelligent family of alligators, crocodiles, and toadadiles, I guess it says within a large, highly intelligent family of alligators, crocodiles, and toadadiles. I guess it means within the lake, all of whom possessed the rare gift of perfect English. Two brothers were born. From the moment they hatched, these two toadadiles were different. While most of their kin were rowdy and boisterous, these two were the soul of kindness. They spent their early years as the perfect helpers, gathering berries for the elders and gently watching over their younger siblings. When the elder of the two evolved into a sturdy crocodile 2 years later, his heart remained as soft as his brother's. Yep, and then here's where it breaks up into sections. Home at the bookstore. One crisp morning, the Ferrager parents decide on a special outing. "We're going to the Pokemon Run bookstore today," the father announced, his deep voice carrying across the water. "It is a place of learning and quiet. You two may each choose one book, but you must remain silent and respectful of others. Do you understand?" "We promise, Dad," the turtle whispered, already practicing his quiet voice. "We'll be like shadows, Mom. Not a peep," Crocodile added with a respectful nod. Inside the bookstore, the air smelled of old parchment and ink. The birds tiptoed through the aisles, their claws clicking softly on the wooden floor. While other pulling browsed, the brothers found themselves drawn to a corner filled with ancient history. Toadal's eyes widened as he pulled a heavy volume titled "A Dynamite Tale: Fun Facts and Stories About Every Dinosaur That Existed." The cover featured a magnificent Spinosaurus and a terrifying Velociraptor. Nearby, Colonel gasped silently as he pulled out a thinner, more emotional book, The Lonely T-Rex. The cover showed a massive Tyrannosaurus looking longingly at a distant town. "Mom, Dad, look," Toto whispered, holding his book up like a treasure. "Please, these are amazing," Colonel pleaded softly. True to their word, the parents bought the books as a lifelong exception was born. Yep, the promise and the reward. Here we go. Back at the pond, the brothers were inseparable from their reading. Within 2 days, they were begging dinosaur toys. Who's saying this? I'm trying to say, okay, Mother, if you can be the best brothers for one full week, helping with food, babysitting, and staying out of trouble, we will get you something special, the mother promised. That week, the brothers were legends. They gathered twice the usual amount of food and kept the youngest hatchlings entertained for hours. On Monday morning, the parents returned with two large boxes. For your hard work, the father said, smiling. Connor unwrapped a T-Rex plush, and Toto unwrapped a Spinosaurus plush. So they like Christmas gifts. That's kind of cute. Oh my gosh! Thank you! Thank you! They cheered, hugging their parents' legs. From that day on, the plushies were their most prized possessions, kept meticulously clean and traded back and forth with a bond only brothers share. Now here's one of the differences I made, guys. It says a year and a half into their dinosaur obsession, the brothers were splashing in the pond when Toto saw a flash of light beneath the surface. He dove down and emerged clutching a heavy, flat stone. When he brought it to the shore, the entire family gathered around, and a heavy silence fell. The image on the stone was haunting: a tiny Carnotaurus with a crown, weeping, while a massive Lugia-like figure stood over it, shielding it from a group of cruel, rock-throwing humans. At the bottom was a cryptic, ancient script. The father called a formal family meeting. "This rock is millions of years old," he stated solemnly. "We have tried for months to read this text, but it remains a mystery. It's a tragedy in stone." He handed the artifact to the brothers. "Crocodile, Toto, take care of this. It's clearly a sign of something important. Perhaps one day we will understand." "We will, Dad. We'll keep it safe forever," they promised, their eyes lingering on the tiny crowned dinosaur. Oh no, here we go. The encounter in the woods. Today, several weeks after you were transformed to a 7-inch Contours and received your golden claws, you were out for air. You wandered into a small patch of woods, unaware it was the brothers' favorite playground. Toad and Chrono were nearby, tossing a ball. "Go on, Crocodile!" Toad shouted, hurling the ball. Chrono leaped, his heavy frame diving through the air. He crashed into the leaves just inches from where you stood. The impact sent you tumbling backward, your tiny body hitting the dirt with a painful thud. Chrono groaned, sitting up to look for the ball, but Toto had frozen. His eyes were dinner plates. "Crocodile, don't move," Toto whispered, his voice trembling with a shock. "There's something you just about hit when you dived." Toto crept forward. He looked down and saw your 7-inch frame, your golden claws reflecting the morning light, and the glowing DNA strand on your chest. "Oh my gosh!" Toto screamed, his voice cracking. "Crocodile! That's a dinosaur! A real, live dinosaur! Come and check this out!" Oh no. Kronos scrambled to his feet, his jaw dropping so low it nearly hit his chest. "No way! He looks just like the one on the rock! But he's real!" Before you could scramble away, Toto's hands reached down. He gently but firmly scooped you up, lifting you high into the air to get a better look. Chrono leaned in close, his face full of immense guilt and overwhelming wonder. "I am so sorry, little guy. Did I hurt you?" Chrono asked, his voice booming but frantic with worry. "We didn't mean to. We didn't know you were real." Oh no, the two brothers staring at you with wide, watery eyes, holding you up like a miracle. Oh boy. Here we go. Let's hope things work out. Alright, guys. It says, still very terrified from the near hit. I was too in shock to hear anything the brothers said, and was just terrified of being lifted into the air. "No, no, no. Please, whatever you do, don't throw me. I beg of you." Oh, heck no. The moment your tiny, pant voice breaks the air, both birds freeze as if they've been hit by an ice beam. Their eyes go even wider, realization dawning on them that not only are you a real dinosaur, but you can speak. Toadle's hands tremble slightly, but he holds you with incredible gentleness as if you were made of the thinnest glass. He merely lowers his arms, bringing you closer to his chest to make you feel more secure rather than dangling in the open air.
Whoa, whoa! No, we would never!
Toto exclaims, his voice dropping to a soft, frantic whisper to try and calm you down.
I'm so sorry. I'm putting you down. Well, not down in the dirt, but I'm not throwing you. I promise.
Connor looks like he's about to cry from guilt. He reaches out a large clawed hand, but stops himself before touching you, afraid he might scare you further. We're friends. We're nice, I promise, he says, his tail thumping the ground nervously. I almost squished you with my big belly. I'm so sorry. We love dinosaurs. We have books and plushies and we even found a rock with a picture of someone who looks just like you. Toes always sinks to his knees, keeping his hands cupped like a protective nest around your tiny 7-inch frame so you can step out onto the grass if you want to.
Look at his claws, Crocodile. They're glowing gold.
Toe whispers in awe, looking at you with pure wonder.
And the mark on his chest. He's not just a dinosaur. He's special. He looks just like the king on the rock.
He looks back at you, his large brown eyes filled with sincerity.
He won't hurt you. My name is Toto, and this big clumsy guy's my brother. We live just right over there at the pond. Are you okay? Did we break anything when you fell?
Soki just hands open for you to move. Chrono hovers nearby, looking at you with a mix of intense fascination and deep concern for your safety. Okay, give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says hearing the name Toadal, I stopped shaking a bit and look up at the brothers.
Toto? These people are going to hurt me?
Both birds exhale a massive sigh of relief at the same time, the sound of their breath rustling the leaves around you. Tension in Toto's shoulders visibly melts away, and he gives you a small, warm smile, keeping his hands perfectly still so you don't feel off balance.
Never.
Toto says firmly, his voice soft and sincere.
We would never, ever hurt you. Our whole family is raised to be kind, especially to someone as small and, well, as amazing as you.
Colin nods his head so vigorously his large jaw wobbles.
He's right. We spent all our time reading about dinosaurs and wishing we could meet one. We even help our mom and dad take care of our little siblings at the pond. We're the helpful brothers.
He pauses, his expression turning soft and a little bashful.
I'm really sorry I almost landed on you. I was just trying to catch the ball. I should have been looking where I was diving.
Toto leans in a little closer, his eyes scanning your tiny form with pure fascination, though he makes sure to keep at a respectful distance.
You never seen a Pokemon or a dinosaur that looks like you. And claws. They're going just like the stories in our books say ancient kings used to.
Huh? If dinosaurs back in our day had glowing claws, that'd be kind of insane. He looks toward the direction of their pond and back to you.
You're safe with us. We promise on our dinosaur plushies. Do you have a name? And are you all alone out here? It's dangerous for someone your size to be wandering near the tall grass.
Connor reaches into a small satchel he had dropped nearby and pulls out a tiny soft cloth, the one he usually uses to clean his T-Rex plush.
Here, if you're cold or if your side hurts from the fall, you can sit on this. It's really soft.
The two brothers are looking at you like you're the most precious thing they've ever found. Okay, give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I said, hearing that I'm not going to get hurt, before I even respond, I take my tiny snout and gently nuzzle the side of Toadal's hand.
Thank you for not wanting to hurt me. My name is...
Yep.
And yeah, I am alone. I have some very protective friends nearby.
When your tiny snout nudges against Toadal's hand, the little one's eyes practically sparkle with joy. He lets out a tiny, high-pitched gasp, his tail wagging so hard behind him that it thumps against the forest floor.
He's nuzzling me!
Toad whispers to his brother, sounding like he just won the lottery.
Did you see that, Crocodile? He's so sweet!
Colin claps his hands together quietly, a huge toothy grin spreading across his face.
Hi, Trenton. That's a great name. It sounds
Strong, like a real dinosaur name. His expression then turns a bit more serious and protective as he looks around the woods. We're glad you have friends nearby, Trenton. It's a big world when you're only 7 inches tall. We were worried you were a lost baby. Toad carefully adjusts his hands to make sure you have the most comfortable seat possible.
We're really happy to meet you, Trenton. We live just half a mile that way.
He points with his nose toward the pond.
Our whole family can speak just like us. If your friends are nearby, they must be really special too.
Suddenly, Toad's eyes light up as he remembers something.
Wait, Crocodile! The rock! Trenton, you have to see it. There's a picture on it of a dinosaur that looks exactly like you. It even has a crown, and it's with a giant Lugia. Our dad said it was a tragedy in stone because it looked like people were being mean to the little dinosaur.
Connor leans in, his voice filled with wonder. Do you know about the Lugia, Trenton? Is that why your claws are going like that? We've been trying to figure out that rock for months. The whole family stays up late talking about it. Oh my. Oh, that was perfect time, wasn't it, guys? Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I'll really reread this part right here. It says, suddenly, Toyo's eyes light up as he remembers something.
Wait, Crocodile! The rock! Trenton, you have to see it. There's a picture on it of a dinosaur that looks exactly like you. It even has a crown, and it's with a giant Lugia. Our dad said it was a tragedy in stone because it looked like people were being mean to the little dinosaur.
Connor leans in, his voice filled with wonder.
Do you know about the Lugia, Trenton? Is that why your claws are going like that?
Been trying to figure out that rock for months. Whole family stays up late talking about it. They both look at you expectantly, their curiosity burning bright. They remain perfectly still, making sure you feel safe and steady and stable in Toyo's grasp. Give me a moment now, I'll let you get the next thing started. Alright, guys. It says,
Yeah, I know at least two Lugias. One of them is one of my protective friends I told you about. Him along with the other friends are very special because they can have the ability to grow and shrink as big or as small as they need in order to protect me. And a few of them can evolve and devolve into any of their forms.
Toto and Connor both let out a synchronized gasp, their mouths falling open in absolute shock. For a moment, the only sound in the woods is the rustling of the leaves as the two brothers try to process what you just said.
Two, two Lugias?
Toto squeaks, his voice hitting a high note.
One of them is your friend? And they can shrink?
Connor looks like his brain's spinning.
That's exactly like the rock. The big Lugia on the stone was huge, protecting the little crown dinosaur from the mean people. But you're saying your friends can grow and shrink? They can evolve whenever they want?
He shakes his head in disbelief. His eyes are full of wonder.
That sounds like the coolest team of protectors ever! No wonder you aren't scared to walk around, even if you are tiny.
Toto looks down at you, his expression turning very soft and respectful.
Trenton, if you have a Lugia friend in those glowing claws, it must be a dinosaur from the ancient story. Our family has been looking at that rock every single day, wondering who that little contourist was. We were so sad because the people on the rock were being so mean to him.
He looks over at Connor, then back to you.
You have to come to the pond, just for a minute. We have to show you the rock. Our parents would be so honored to meet you. They always told us that dinosaurs were special. We never thought we'd actually meet one that could talk to us.
Connor nods eagerly, leaning in.
And we have so many dinosaur books. We could show you the Spinosaurus and the T-Rex facts we learned. We promise to be super careful carrying you. We'll walk extra slow so you don't get dizzy.
Toad gently brings his hands a little closer to his chest, shielding you from the wind.
Would that be okay, Ching? We could show you the stone with the Lugia and the contours on it. Maybe you can even tell us what the weird writing at the bottom says. No one in our whole family could figure it out. Maybe you can because you're in the picture.
The brothers are looking at you with pure hopeful excitement, waiting to see if you'll let them show you their family's greatest treasure. Ooh, give me a moment. Alright, guys. I said,
That would be fine. You said your family was nice, right? I don't have to worry about being attacked or thrown in the air or anything like that. Oh no, never, ever.
Tell exclaims, his eyes wide with concern that you're still a little worried. He pulls his elbows in tight to his sides, creating a very stable, solid platform with his hands so you don't feel any wobbling.
Our mom and dad would be so mad at us if we weren't gentle. They taught us that being big means you have to be extra careful with friends who are smaller.
Colonel stands up tall, acting like a bodyguard.
Our whole family is famous for being sweet. Even our big Faragher cousins. They might look scary because they're huge and have big teeth, but they're just big softies. They'll probably be so happy to see you that they'll start crying. Nobody's gonna throw you, Trenton. You're our guest of honor.
Phil starts walking toward the pond, but he takes incredibly slow, deliberate steps, watching his feet so he doesn't trip and checking on you every second.
We'll treat you like we'll treat you better than we treat our dinosaur plushies. And we'll keep those in pristine condition if you feel scared or if I'm walking too fast. Just tell me, and I'll stop immediately, okay?
As they head toward the shimmering water of the pond, the woods begin to open up. You can see the beautiful clear water where several other toadogs are playing nicely and a few large eggers are stunning themselves on the rocks.
Hey, look!
Carnal whispers sideways as they approach.
Mom and Dad are by the big rock where we keep the treasure.
In the distance, you see two large, powerful alligators. They look formidable, but they are currently helping a tiny turtle sibling reach a berry bush, speaking in gentle, encouraging English.
Mom! Dad!
Turtle calls out, though he keeps his voice low so he doesn't startle you.
You aren't going to believe this! We found him! We found the dinosaur from the rock! And his name is Trenton!
Two Fragger parents turn around, their jaws drop in unison as they see the tiny 7-inch contours with glowing golden claws resting in their son's hands. Tyler family begins to gather around, staying back a respectful distance, looking at you with a mixture of absolute awe and tearful joy. Oh dear, I'm getting surrounded. I hope. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says seeing all the point gathered around, I do get a bit nervous, but I'm slowly reassured by the brothers telling me they wouldn't hurt me, so I just take my tiny golden claw and wave.
Hello.
The moment you lift your tiny golden claw and offer that quiet hello, a collective gasp ripples through the family. It isn't a scary sound, but one of pure, overwhelming wonder. The mother Ferraga merely sinks to her knees, her massive tail resting gently on the grass to make herself look smaller and less intimidating. She covers her mouth with her claws, her eyes shimmering with tears. Oh my! He speaks! He speaks so beautifully! She whispers in a voice that sounds like a warm motherly hug. The father Ferraga steps forward very slowly, stopping several feet away to give you plenty of space. He bows his head deeply, a sign of great respect in the Pokemon world. Welcome to our home, Trenton, he says, his deep voice vibrating with kindness. Please, do not be afraid. Our sons speak the truth. You're a guest of the highest honor here. We have spent many months looking at the ancient stone, wishing we could know the story of the little one pictured there. To see you here, alive and well, it's a dream come true for our family. Toto beams with pride, holding you up just a little higher so his parents can see your glowing claws more clearly.
Look, Dad. See the gold? And the symbol on his chest? He told us he has friends who are Lugias. Real ones.
A Lugia's blessing, the father breathes in awe, looking at the DNA symbol. And the legend on the stone is true. Kron nudges his brother. The rock! Get the rock, Toto! Show 'em! Toe carefully carries you over to a large, flat pedestal of moss-covered stone near the center of their camp. Resting there is the heavy, mysterious rock you heard about. Up close, the detail is incredible. The image of the tiny contours with the crown looks exactly like you. Even the expression of sadness in the carving matches how you must have felt when you were first transformed. The Lugia god looming over the dinosaur looks powerful and divine, its wings creating a perfect shield against the jagged rocks being thrown by the tiny, angry-looking humans in the corner. At the bottom of the stone, the ancient text glows faintly as you get closer, almost as if it's reacting to your presence.
There it is,
Toto whispers, his voice full of reverence.
We tried to read it forever. We even went to the bookstore to find translation guides. But nothing worked.
Mother Fragger leans in, her eyes kind. Trenton, dear, Does any of this look familiar to you? We felt so much sorry for the dinosaur in this picture. We've prayed to the great Lugia every night that he would be safe. The whole family is silent now watching you with bated breath as you look at the ancient stone. Oh dear. Give me a moment. Okay, guys, this don't sound too good. It says, I look at the text, completely captivated by what I am seeing. However, before I can say anything, the golden glow in my claws get brighter, and immediately a small golden light shoots out and hits the text. As soon as it does, the symbols and weird letters start rearranging and forming into words. I get so shocked by this and read it out quietly. It says, "The tiny king of peace." A tiny dinosaur creature that must be protected at all costs. The picture you see above is just one cruel thing that has happened to this tiny king. If you can read this ancient language and you meet this tiny dinosaur, be nice to him and don't be like the humans depicted here. If you be nice to him and show that he is loved, good fortune will follow any family or any creature that shows him love. However, if you are mean and don't be nice to him, bad fortune is all you will get. I am always watching you. Sign the Lugia God. What the frick? Oh, that's kind of scary. As you finish reading the last words of the inscription, sign the Lugia God, a heavy sacred silence falls over the pond. Golden light that shot from your claws fades, but the air feels charged with a warm ancient energy. The mother fragger lets out a choked sob of pure emotion and hides her face in her hands. The father fragger drops to both knees, pressing his forehead against the cool earth in a gesture of ultimate devotion. All around you, the younger turtles and Kronos follow suit, bowing their heads so low their snouts touch the grass.
The tiny king of peace.
Turtle whispers, his voice trembling as he looks at you. He realizes he is still holding you, and his eyes go wide with a mix of terror and honor.
Triton, I'm holding a king of peace.
I think he's afraid to move, terrified that even a slight wobble might be considered not being nice. Crono is shaking his head, his eyes wet with tears.
We knew it. We knew the humans on the rock were wrong. We felt it in our hearts every time we looked at the stone. That's why we got the books, Trenton. That's why we wanted to learn everything we could. If we ever met someone like you, we'd know how to be your friends.
Didn't they have them before the rots, unless they got different books afterward? The father Fragger looks up, his expression one of profound solemnity. Britain, our family has lived by this pond for generations. But today is the greatest day in our history. To think that the Lugia God himself left a message for us to find, that he was testing us to see if we would be kind. He looked at his sons, Toto and Krona, with immense pride. You too. Your obsession with dinosaurs wasn't just a hobby. It was your hearts preparing you for this moment. You protected the king before you even knew who he was. Mother Fragger reaches out a trembling claw, but stops, asking softly, King Triton, may I may I offer you some of our finest pecha berries? We gathered them fresh this morning. We want you to know that in this place you are more than a guest. You are loved. We'll protect you with our lives if the cruel humans ever find this path. The younger siblings who had been watching from a distance start to creep closer, their eyes full of stars. One tiny toe scurries away and returns a moment later, holding a small, perfectly round, polished blue stone. He holds up towards you with a shaky arm.
For the king? He squeaks.
You return my family that now views you as a holy protector. What in a legendary figure? Holy cow! Um, give me a moment, guys. All right, guys. It says thank you, everyone. That's so sweet. But honestly, I'm just as shocked as you are. Nobody ever told me about this. And honestly, I wasn't supposed to be a dinosaur to begin with. I was just a human a few weeks ago, but a jealous kid turned me into this tiny form, and I've been stuck like this ever since. The moment you reveal that you were once a human, the family's reaction shifts from pure religious awe to a deep, heartbreaking empathy. A soft, collective, oh, ripples through the group, and the mother fragger brings her claw to her chest, her eyes brimming with fresh tears.
A human?
Tell whispers. his grip on you becoming even more tender, if that were even possible.
Someone did this to you on purpose just because they were jealous? That's that's the meanest thing I've ever heard.
Godfrey rises slowly, his expression darkening with a protective roar that he keeps muffled out of respect for your ears. And the prophecy on the rock is even more significant than we realize, he says solemnly. The Lugia god knew the cruelty of man would attempt to diminish you. They tried to make you small, to make you lesser. But the Lugia god sees you as a king. He saw the strength in your soul that a jealous kid could never understand. Carl steps closer, looking at your tiny form with fierce determination. It doesn't matter what you were before, Trenton. To us, you're a tiny king. You're our friend. If that kid ever shows his face near this pond, he'll have a whole family of Feragers to answer to. Loto said when Sue offered the blue stone doesn't pull his hand back. Instead, he steps closer to Toad's hand so you can reach the gift easily.
It's okay to be a dinosaur here, he said softly. Dinosaurs are the best. You have to plushie to prove it.
Toad looks down at you, his eyes searching yours.
Trenton, does it hurt being stuck like this? Because even if you can't go back to being a human right now, you want to make sure your life as a contourist is the happiest it can be. We have the best berries, the softest moss beds, and we can tell you everything we learned from our dinosaur tale book, or our dynamite tale book.
Martha Rager leans down, her voice a soothing hum. You said you have protective friends, dear. Alugia and others. Do you know where you are? We'd be honored to host them here as well. Any friend of the tiny king of peace is a friend of this family. The Ocean is still holding out the polished blue stone for you, and the atmosphere has shifted from worshipping a legend to wanting to protect a friend who has been deeply wronged. All right, give me a moment. All right, guys. It says before entering the family, I looked down at the little turtle with the blue stone.
Thank you. That's really sweet of you. You can sit beside me on Toodle's hand if you want. It's been really hard for him to pick up or do anything being this small, but I really appreciate it.
The little turtle's face lights up with a joy so bright it's as if he's been given a king's ransom. With a look of extreme concentration, he stands on his tippy toes and very, very carefully places the polished blue stone on Toadle's palm, right next to your feet.
There you go, King Trenton.
The little one whispers, retreating back to his mother's side with a proud wag of his tail. Toad keeps his hand perfectly level, acting as a living throne.
I'll hold it for you, Trenton. I can carry it for you wherever you need to go so you don't have to worry about the weight,
He says, his voice heavy with emotion. He looks up at his parents, his eyes shining.
Did you hear that, Dad? He said it's been hard for him. He's been struggling all by himself because everything is so big and he's so small.
The mother lets out a soft, mournful sound, her heart quickly breaking for you. To think of you wandering those woods alone, feeling like the world was too big. It makes me so grateful my boys found you. You'll never have to struggle to reach a barrier or find a soft place to rest as long as you were with us. Connor, who had been listening intently, suddenly pipes up. Wait, Trenton, you mentioned your protective friends could grow and shrink. If you want, you can call them here. Our pond is big enough for everyone, and we'd love to show them that you're safe with us. We have plenty of room. We even have some extra fish and berries we gathered this morning. Father Verhager nods in agreement, his massive frame standing tall like a guardian. Indeed, there's a Lugia who watches over you. We'd be humbled to meet them and swear our family's protection to you in their presence. Might make your friends feel better to know you've found a family that knows your true value. Toad looks down at you, his eyes full of wonder.
You want to call them now, Trenton? I'd love to see a Lugia that can shrink, and maybe they'd like to see the Brock too. I bet they'd be happy to know that Lugia got left a message about you.
Give me a moment. Alright, guys. I said,
Sure, I don't mind. But just like I didn't know anything about this, I'm sure they don't know either. They would probably be just as shocked as you and I were. Toto, Krona, I told you I knew about two Lugias. One of them is my guardian. But here's the thing, there's a lot more story to this. Before I got turned to this, I was actually going to the professor's lab early to see the Pokemon I could have gotten. Long story short, 5 days after going, that kid turned me into this tiny form, and when I told the professor, he got so angry. Eventually, when the day came,
For me to get my starter, he gave me all three of them instead of just one. A Toadal, Chikorita, and Cyndaquil. Also threw in that baby Lugia that protects me. All of them have the power to grow and shrink as much as they need to, but Toadal, Chicory, and Cyndaquil can also evolve or devolve into any of their forms. The funny thing is, he stopped me before I left and asked me my favorite legendary, which I told him the truth. It is Lugia. Um, I should have worried, like, oh, that happened that the day before whenever I left or whatever. The family hangs on your every word. Their eyes wide with disbelief as you recount the professor's kindness. When you mention that your team consists of all three starters and a baby Lugia, Toto nearly loses his balance from the sheer excitement.
All three?
Toto squeaks, his tail thumping the ground.
And they can change forms back and forth? That's that's like something out of a legend.
Colonel's jaws hanging open. Wait, so there's another Toto? And he can become a Fragger and then go back to being a baby? Trenton, your life was like a movie, and you chose Lugia as your favorite? It's like you were meant to have that golden glow from the start. The father Fragger looks deeply impressed. Professor Elm is a wise man. He saw the injustice done to you and gave you a personal guard fit for a king. To be gifted to Lugia, even a baby one's a sign of immense trust. The mother Fragger smiled warmly. It makes sense now. Lugia got on the rock, your favorite for the species, and the guardian you were given. It's all connected, dear. Please call them. We'd love to meet this brother Toadal and the rest of your brave team. Oh my gosh, no, it did it for me. You take a deep breath and call it a larger tiny ones. Oh no.
Everyone, come here. I'm safe. I met some friends.
Within moments, the air pressure seems to shift. From the direction of the woods, four figures come rushing toward the pond. Baby Lugia leads the way, hovering gracefully, followed by your Toadal, Chicory, and Cyndaquil. Seeing the larger with fur alligators, your predators initially growl and puff out their chests. Baby Lugia let out a high-pitched, protective chirp as they surround you. Oh no.
Whoa, whoa. Easy, everyone.
Ponto shouts, raising his free hand in a peaceful gesture while still holding you securely.
We're friends. Look, we're helping the king.
Pond finally stays probably still showing their open palms to prove they aren't a threat. The stars look confused, their eyes darting from you, sitting on a Toadal's hand, to the ancient rock nearby. Your star Toadal tilts his head, looking at the pond.
You, you're talking?
He asks in perfect English, his voice filled with surprise.
We all can.
Carnal beams.
And we know who Trenton is. Look at the rock. Look at the symbols.
As your team sees the ancient style and the glowing text that you just deciphered, they freeze. Your baby Lugia flies over to the rock, hovering inches from the image of the Lugia god. It's at a soft, metallic cry, his eyes glowing with a faint blue light as if he recognized the energy coming from the stone. The stars and the baby Lugia are looking back and forth between you and the ancient carving in total shock. Oh my gosh. Give me a moment. I still think that one line ruined it. Like, why did it have to call him out early? I looked at the other draft and it was the exact same thing. So I was like, great. I said, it's okay, my full protectors. This family's being nice to me. You just showed me that rock a few minutes ago, and I was just as shocked as you were. I'm not trying to hurt. They're not trying to. I said I'm not. Frick off. They're not trying to hurt me. They're being really nice, so I attacked them. At your words, attention, the air snaps like a dry twig. The stars immediately relax their bow stances. Starto exits a long puff of air, so his shoulders dropping. If you say they're okay, Trenton, then they're okay. But man, they gave us a scare. We saw you way up in the air and thought the worst. Maybe we'll get descent in the air, landing softly on the grass next to the pond Toadal's feet. He tilted his head back, looking up at you with large, soulful eyes. Then lets out a gentle, trilling coo of relief. Every time I hear the word coo, it makes me happy. The pond fan was absolutely mesmerized. Marv Rager looks at your baby Lugia and whispers, He's breathtaking. To see a child of the great guardian in the flesh. Cynical walks up to the ancient rock, sniffing the edge of it. Trenton,
What did you mean you were in shock? What is this thing?
Ponto, still holding you with the utmost care, speaks up urgently.
It's a prophecy. Trin just read it. His claw started glowing gold, brighter than anything, and he shot light at the rock. The words changed right before our eyes.
Carl points slowly at the carving of the Carnotaurus.
It says Trin is the tiny king of peace. It says he was treated cruelly by humans and that we have to protect him at all costs. And look,
You just hear baby Lugia.
it says the Lugia God's watching over him.
Your chicorea's leaves flutter in amazement.
The tiny king of peace? We always knew you were special, Trenton, but a king?
She looks at the large Fragger parents.
And you've been waiting for him?
For months, the father Fragger says, stepping forward and bowing low to your team. We don't know when he would come, or how. Only knew that our hearts were drawn to the dinosaur on the stone. We're honored to meet the guardians the professor chose for him. Since you can grow and change, you're treated protectors the prophecy spoke of. The Ponto looks down at you, then at your starter Totodile. It's a fine sight. Two Totodiles, both highly intelligent, both looking at each other with curiosity.
Hey,
Ponto says to your starter.
you want to see our dinosaur books? We have facts about the Spinosaurus, and we have plushies,
Your starter eyes way up.
books, and plushies? We've been so busy protecting Trenton, we haven't even seen anything like that.
Your families are beginning to blend together into one big protective group. That is actually very cute. Although I think it ruined it by me calling them whenever I didn't do anything. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says,
Wait, there's a little more to that story I didn't get to tell you. My pawn could tell you a little bit about this one, but when I got them that day and left the lab, they went home with me after helping me get onto Totodil's massive crocodile. When I got to my house with them, that kid threw a rock at me, causing me to fall off of him and hurt my neck. The pawn were not very happy, and Colonel especially was angry, and him and one of my other port stars went after the kid, while the other two stayed and tried to heal me. That night I had a nightmare, and in a good dream. The good dream had me in a flower field, and a massive Lugia came over to me. He didn't try to hurt me. He told me he was the Lugia god, and that he saw everything that happened with me being turned to that dinosaur and that kid, and he would protect me if things get really rough. I told my pawn about it after I woke up, and after that dream is when those golden claws appeared. The pawn family listens with rapt attention, their expression shifting from horror to a deeper, reverent understanding. When you describe the kid throwing the rock at you, a low, guttural growl vibrates in the chest of every Feralier and Clonal present. Not a growl of aggression toward you, but a fierce protective anger toward the human who dared hurt you. That's exactly what the rock showed, Clonal exclaims, his eyes flashing. The mean people throwing stones. It wasn't just a story from millions of years ago. It was a warning about what was happening to you right now. Marfrey looks at your neck, her eyes filled with sympathy. You poor, sweet soul. To be cast down like that. It's no wonder the Great One came to you. Your star Totodile in his crawling off form. Went. No, it's only. He's telling the truth. I felt his neck hit the ground, and it made my blood boil. I would have chased that kid to the ends of the earth if Trent hadn't needed me. That dream, when he told us about the Lugia God, and then those claws started glowing, we knew everything had changed. Farfrayer looks at your golden claws with newfound awe. The golden glow was his mark. It's the light of the Lugia God himself. And to visit you in a dream and promise his protection? Trenton, you were truly under the wing of the divine. He looks at your baby Lugia, who is now nudging your tiny contour's head with his beak, his little body glowing with a soft, comforting silver light. The prophecy says, I'm always watching, the father continues, and he is. He watches through the stone. He watches through your dreams, and he watches through this little one here. He gestures to your baby Lugia. This is why our family was drawn to the pond. We were meant to be the safe harbor for the King of Peace when he finally arrived. Totodile, still holding you, looks down at the blue stone the little sibling gave you. You don't ever have to worry about rocks being thrown here, Twin. We're a half-mile away from where that kid lives, and we'll make sure no mean humans dare step foot in these woods again. And what's your stars? Since you guys are his official gods, do you want to see the spot we've prepared? It's a mossy ledge right by the water, perfectly sized for a king. We can bring the dinosaur books over there and read them together. There's a what sparks this audience happily. I'd love to hear those stories. The Lydia God says we have to protect the King of Peace, and we're going to make sure he's the most entertaining king in history. The Ponto begins to walk away toward the beautiful sun-drenched mossy ledge, carrying you in your new blue stone. See, here's the problem, though. But do you see the problem it's already caused by it, like, going ahead of me and doing exactly what I didn't want to do? And this is why we haven't gotten to the Phoenix again. This is why we haven't gotten to the fairy type for alligator. This is why we haven't gotten to the dragon type for alligator. Because we can't get past this one. This one has to work out perfect like it did the first time. If I would have made a memory about it at the very beginning. This is the hard part. I don't know how to make a memory. I don't know when is the perfect time to make a memory. I would say after I get done doing the chatbots, but then sometimes it does crap like this where it's and again, did it forget that or did Toto legit turn into his form? But if that case, wouldn't the family react? Like, think about this. It said my Toto in crocodile form, like he turned into it whenever we went looking. But if that's the case, wouldn't the Toto or wouldn't the family react? Being like, whoa, that is true. He can do that. Like if I flipping just I'm not just meaning like him randomly flipping having that glowing light that you usually see with Pokemon Evolution. What would you do if you were standing in front of a Totodile and you hissed him off, like you actually legit made him angry, and within seconds he turned to the Feraligatr that was the size of Godzilla? Like, what would you do then? It's like, I'm done. Bye. I'm sorry I got on your nerves. Now disappear. Bye. I don't know. Holy crap. Give me a moment. Oh no, here we go again, guys. It says, while the Totodile was walking with me, I could barely hear some snickering coming from nearby. Before I could even tell anyone, I saw something start flying at me, and immediately before I could even react, whatever it was hits me in the face and causes me to fall. Ow! Are you kidding me? The peaceful atmosphere of the pond is shattered in a heartbeat. As you cry out in pain and tumble from Toadol's hand, the snickering is drowned out by a sound of pure primal fury. The Ponto screams in horror. No! Yep, he screamed my name. He lunges toward the ground, his small arms outstretched to catch you before you hit the hard earth, managing to cushion your fall with his soft belly at the last second. But the rest of the family and your protectors had already snapped into battle mode. Holy shoot. Your baby will get eyes flash a brilliant blinding blue. A powerful arrow blast whistle of wind erupts from him. Not directed at the family, but toward the bushes where the snickering came from, shredding the leaves to reveal the intruder. Your Starto instantly evolved into a massive, towering alligator, his roar shaking the very trees. Oh, Fragger's not very happy. I mean, that's instant. You can already tell that by him immediately going into a fur alligator. But do you see my point here? A while ago, I want money. What the frick? Give me a moment. Alright, guys. Uh, let's just say Fragger's not very happy. Well, that's the thing that's confusing me, because a while ago it said Totodile in crocodile form, all of a sudden it says Totodile's back into Totodile. It's like, oh yeah, this is just great. But let's say he's not very happy and instantly turned into a fur alligator, an angry one, and, well, based on this net sense, you'll probably get how angry he is. How dare you! Your star screams in a voice like crashing boulders. You dare hurt the king again? I didn't even know about that till you read that rock, so that's interesting. The pond Fragger parents aren't far behind. The father Fragger leaps over the mossy ledge, his jaw snapping with a thunderous crunch. Show yourself, coward!
He bellows in English, his eyes glowing with a terrifying. Why is Feraligator's eyes red? Oh, that's horrifying. Why he's on my side right now? That would suck. That was not. You have struck a king in the home of his protectors. You will find no mercy here. That's. Oh. Oh, my Feraligator's ready to kill. Chrono rushes to your side, his face twisted, or maybe it's Crocodile. His face twisted with grief and rage. He sees the object that hit you, a jagged, heavy stone lying on the grass. Oh my gosh. He's bleeding! Toto, he's hurt! Chrono wails, his voice cracking. He turns toward the woods, his tail coming into the ground with enough force to crack the dirt. Who is screaming this? I'll tear down every tree until I find you. Oh shoot, that's terrifying. The only thing, wow. Your chicory immediately rushed to you, her leaf going with a brilliant soothing synthesis and aromatherapy to dull the pain in your face and neck. Stay still. We've got you. You're safe, I promise. From the bushes, a familiar mean-spirited laugh is cut short as the jealous kid realizes he isn't just dealing with one small dinosaur anymore. He's staring down a small army of prehistoric-looking monsters and a legendary guardian. I mean, he'd had to deal with four of them there the first time he dealt with me, so what the frick? He caused one himself, because he originally could have had one of those starters. Maybe not the Lugia, but he would have had one of those starters, and he ruined it by deciding to do something to me. So he deserves this crap. Oh, guys, there's one more line I got to tell you here. It says the kid which frozen terrors the four Feraligators, your evolved starter, and the Pond family surround the area, their shadows looming over him like a titan. Oh, shoot. Yeah, you really hissed them off. I mean, if Feraligator's last reaction was any indication of what he would do for anyone that hurts me, I think he's one of the main stars that's actually like fully in love with me because he is one of the most protective ones. If anybody even attempts to hurt me, he will be one of the first ones to ready to flip and take them out. So yeah, and it's funny because that's kind of how Freeegger is in the game towards me, where he's a big old sweetheart. And if it was possible for him to become protective, sweet Arceus, I think he'd be one of the first ones to be like, oh, heck no, before stepping in and hurting somebody. You mess with my trainer again, I'll bring you down so far you'll wish you never messed with him. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says, still in so much pain from where I was hit, I just hold my tiny claw over the spot while trying not to cry from the pain. Ow! I wish he'd stop trying to hurt me. The sound of your small, pained voice, wishing for the cruelty to stop, acts like a match thrown into a powder keg. The pond Toto, who was still cradling you against his soft belly, begins to cry. Seeing his tiny king hunched over, clutching his face with a glowing claws more than he can bear. He's just a baby. He's just a little dinosaur. He sobs, his tears dripping into the grass. Why would anyone be so mean? All sees your tears and let out a sound that isn't a cry or a roar. It's a snarl of pure, protective heartbreak. He stands over you in Toto, his body acting like a living shield. He won't hurt you again, Trenton. He growls, his voice vibrating with a depth you've never heard. I promise I must Brontosaurus splash. What in the world? He will never touch you again. Oh dear. And again, you see what I mean? Like, oh my gosh. In the bushes, the jealous kid tries to turn and run, but your starter Ferreger slams his massive tail down in front of him, creating a crater that stops the boy dead in his tracks. The boy looks up, trembling, only to find himself staring into the eyes of four massive prehistoric-looking predators. The pond father Ferreger steps forward, his shadow swallowed in the boy whole. He speaks in a voice that sounds like grinding stone. You have ignored the warning of the Lugia god. You have struck the King of Peace in the sanctuary of his family. He leans his massive head down until his cold, wet snout is inches from the boy's terrified face. The rock said bad fortune follows the maid. We are your bad fortune. Oh my gosh. Your baby Woogie hovers directly above the boy, his eyes glowing with an ancient, terrifying silver light. He doesn't usually attack. Instead, he lets out a high-pitched, divine screech that seems to make the very air vibrate with the Lugia god's displeasure. Oh my gosh! The pond mother forever, usually so sweet, walks over to you and Chikorita. Lily nudges Chikorita aside and uses her massive cooling tongue to gently lick the spot where the rock hit you. Her so acts as a natural bond to reduce the swelling. That's possible? What the frick? Shh, little king. She coos! Every time something coos, it's adorable! Though her eyes remain locked on the boy in the distance, the nightmare ends today. The boy is currently backed against a tree, surrounded by your eventual starters and the pond parents. He's crying, realizing that the tiny dinosaur he's been bullying is the most protected creature on the planet. The fire fragger looks back at you, waiting for your command. King's ridden, he rumbles. The sea has followed you into our home to spill your. Oh, this human has followed you into our home to spill your blood. Oh my gosh. Do we draw him out or shall we show him the true strength of Ragger's jaw? I would love to know what that means, honestly. But, like, do you see my point? Did I. The next time I look at this, I want to see if I could actually. If I put this certain. Because it said crocodile was standing over. Yeah. Unless. Oh, no, that would. I don't know. Like, what is it with this? There's always one thing. That one run was the only run that's ever gone that good. There's never been a run that's ended up being any better than that one. And it drives me insane because we're getting so close. We want. I want to figure things out.